Hello, hello. I am really hoping everything goes well tonight. Do I have sound? I need some thumbs up or some yeses in the chats to let me know that sound is working because we know that's always an issue. But I'm hoping now that I've got the AirPods and that I have ditched the old Yeti microphone that that's not an issue any longer. So yeah, if somebody could let me know, that would be amazing, and I'll keep talking then. Um, I've got hibiscus tea tonight, which I was very excited to find in the supermarket today here in Bangkok. It's not something I've had since I left Australia. So I'm very, very happy to be drinking it. In case you have not had hibiscus tea before, I have a love heart that tells me somebody can hear me. So, yep, awesome. Thank you. Um, yeah, if you've not had hibiscus tea before, I was super rapt to find it here in Bangkok. It it's anti-inflammatory. It's loaded with antioxidants. It's loaded with polyphenols. It lowers cholesterol. It supports heart health, weight management. I've written a list because I'm still on pain medication, so we'll see how we go. Um, and it does lower blood pressure. And as I will tell you in my story tonight about hospital, I have to watch that. So this is not something I will drink every day, but I was really happy to find it. And if you have high blood pressure and all those other things, cholesterol, heart issues, that sort of stuff, and lipedema as well, polyphenols, this is your friend. And to me, it tastes like hot berry drink or something. I don't know. It's really nice. I like it. And it's warming, but it tastes like home because it's been so long since I've had it. So, mm, okie dokie. Tonight's just about me dipping my toe back in the water. Last time I had surgery, is it the actual flower tea? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's in tea bags though. So, no doubt the tea bags have got microplastic and stuff in it. I'm not going to deal with that. So, see how red it is? I don't know if you can see how red it is. Um, Delicious though. And it smells like a good one because I've had ones that I've bought before that are really quite old, I'd say, because you can't really smell the goodness of it, whereas these ones you can smell them. So pretty happy. They weren't the cheapest, but they weren't expensive either. So about the same as what I'd buy in Australia. So that was good. All right. So 9 days ago, I had surgery, the next surgery in my steps of transforming myself from the old Kylie to the new Kylie. And so I thought tonight I would just dip my toe in the water and see how switched on my brain is. Being that I'm still on antibiotics, I'm still on pain medications. I have not looked at my work computer for 9 days. So, yeah, I'm just sort of seeing where things are at. Last time, so when I had my lower body lift and the face stuff in December, I gave myself 4 weeks off. I had pre-done videos and pre-done all my work for a whole month. So I gave myself plenty of time. This time I don't have as much time up my sleeve, not for me personally, but for some other work that I do. So I'm just seeing how we go. And I gave myself last Sunday off because I was in the hospital still. I don't know what I was thinking to think that I could actually do a live stream from the hospital. I was high as a kite, so wasn't going to happen. But I will do a proper video about this because I've kept, I filmed a lot of stuff as I went along. So I will do a seamless, make sense video. So this is just me rambling and sharing with you for those of you that keep up on my life and what's happened for me the last 9 days that you might be interested, not interested. And while what I had done this time is not exactly lipedema related, the whole journey is just about me finding my best lipedema body. So to me, it all sort of comes one after the other, right? It's take one step, then take the next step. Then what can you do next? So that's what I'm doing. Um, all right, so it started 9 days ago, and I went in the day before surgery. Lucky for me, I always count the day before as part of, right, that's when I stop work. So it was the day before pre op. that I stopped all work and down tools and had everything ready to go. And so I went into the hospital, and here in Bangkok, they're amazing. They take all the bloods, you get a chest x ray, you get an ECG. They do everything to make sure that you're healthy and fit for surgery. And I think this earbud is too small, too big for me. It keeps dropping out. And anyway, so I went and had all those tests done. And that was all done by lunchtime. And then while we were sitting there, they waiting for the test to come back, they came in and said, "Oh, your platelets are really low. And so you're just going to have to wait. We're going to have to send you to the hematologist." And because this is in the actual hospital, they just send you to the hematology section. Here in Bangkok or in Thailand, because it'd be all hospitals in Thailand that operate the same, it's quite astounding. It's not like Australia where like, oh no, you need to see a hematologist or you need to see a, this doctor or that doctor. So we need to get you in and we need to schedule like, no, no, no. They just walked me down to the hematology section, and within, I don't know, half an hour, I was sitting in front of a hematologist. It's like, and this is the same across the board. I remember last time my thyroid was running too high, so they walked me to the endocrinologist, and the endocrinologist sat down. Like, it's just so seamless, and it makes you wonder in Western countries why we can't just have it like that. That it's just so simple and easy. I don't know. Anyway, just thoughts. And anyway, so I sat in front of the hematologist, and they said, "Oh, look, for you to go ahead with surgery tomorrow, we need to give you a platelet infusion." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And she said, "Look, even regardless of surgery, you should have one anyway because your platelets are really low." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And anyway, so they sent Ollie home. He went home that night. So we were all set up. I had my bags at home. We were meant to go home that night. So this was Thursday, and come back the next day around lunchtime, usually, because they operate at night here. Another weird thing, probably the heat. I'm not sure. And we were supposed to come back the next day. So Ollie got sent home, or he went home, and I stayed behind. They said, "No, no, no, you stay. We're going to admit you straight away. We're going to get your transfusion." And I was like, "Oh, okay, radio." I got admitted into the room upstairs, and once I got there, I was like, "Oh, you know what? There's no point in him coming back because it's like an hour trip on the train, a couple of trains you have to change, and then it's a bit of a walk to the hospital." And so I messaged him and said, "Look, don't worry, just come tomorrow. Bring the bag tomorrow because tomorrow's going to be a late night for him, being that." He would have stayed. He stays up until I'm back from surgery, or he's at least just sort of napping on the couch, kind of thing. And so I said, "Just come up tomorrow. They're going to be in and out all night taking," because they'd already been in twice, I think, for blood tests and stuff like that. And trying to get blood out of me is pretty hard. So I've really felt for the nurses because they had to keep coming in and taking more blood from me. Anyway, it turns out my blood type, which is B neg, is really quite rare. Only 2% of people in the world have B negative blood. And so they didn't have any. And that's where the transfusion of the platelets comes from. I don't know where I thought it was coming from. I don't know. I, I'm not sure. Anyway, you'd think I'd know with my training and background, but I didn't. And so I didn't realize I was waiting for a blood transfusion, but that's okay. I was waiting and they couldn't find it. So they were like, "Oh, okay." So the next morning, they came in and they said, "Look, we're going to do one more blood test, but we cannot find your blood. So if we can't, if your platelets haven't gotten better, then surgery will be off, right?" So, and this is how above the line they are, right? So anyone that's worried about medical tourism and all this sort of thing, they're so like on the ball with everything. Anyway, took the blood test and they were normal. They were normal. Go figure, right? And so I was like, "Okay, we're going ahead with the surgery. They're normal, but we will continue to monitor your blood while you're here, and you'll have to keep seeing the hematologist for a few weeks," which is in play now. So that was that, and so that was really weird. And so the next day, surgery was going ahead. All went well. everything happened the way it was meant to happen, and I woke up as I would normally wake up from a surgery, so that was all good. And I have to say, I I have the boobies of like a 14-year-old right now. So, like, I think my boobs beforehand were down to like they came down to my elbows literally after 60 kilos weight loss, and, breastfeeding and all that sort of thing. There was nothing left of them. So I've only got a compression bra on right now, like that you have to wear for 3 months afterwards. But this is where my nipples are back where they should be as a young person. So I'm very excited by that. And I'm very excited by the idea of potentially not wearing a bra in Thailand in the heat of places. So it's the little things, right? So a few things that went down through the process of being in the hospital. Blood pressure. My blood pressure was consistently really low. If you saw my um, yeah, see, pain medication. I'm scraffling for words. If you saw my video last week about my low blood pressure, well, it continued. Every time they took my blood pressure on my arms, it was like, I think the lowest one was 70 over 40, and the nurse was horrified. She's looking at me terrified of what was going to happen. And I just smiled and went, it's okay, it's normal. But then another nurse said, no, take around leg. And so she put it around my lower leg. And that was normal. That was like 100, I say normal, that was like 112 over 60. And every time they took it around my lower leg, it was about that normal one. But when they took it from my arm, it was always 90 over 50 kind of area. So, yeah, not sure about that. So, I'm going to have to dig deeper into the blood pressure thing and the connections and maybe look deeper into POTS and that sort of stuff. So that's on my list when my brain is functioning again. So that was an interesting thing. But it made me realize that you can not only ask for your blood pressure to be taken here if it's excruciating around here, but you can ask for it to be taken around your lower leg as well. Now, for some of us, that might be excruciating, just like the upper arm, but for some of us, it may not be. It may be okay. So, since I've lost weight, I don't really have that much pain anywhere, even though my legs still have very clearly have lipedema. So it didn't really affect my legs at all, having the blood pressure cuff put around there. So that was interesting. So yeah, something that you may find useful next time you're at the doctor. So obviously that they can do it, and you can't tell me Thailand's the only place that knows that they can do it there. So, so if anyone in a Western country is kicking up, going, no, 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 we've got to take it from here. No, they don't, right? So that was that. What else? So veins and all that sort of thing. So cannula. So last time I was in December, they ended up changing the cannula to my other hand because my veins, they must be just so tiny, because when they push in the antibiotics and they push in the morphine is the sort of drug of choice in the hospitals here. So when they push that in, it just hurts. Even when they push in the saline, it hurts like they're hammering away at your hand. So I'd love to know if any of you have that, because that's just like a constant thing for me. Anyway, by the second last day, most of the nurses were all understood that if you just went really slowly, but it meant time. They had to sit there and just like slowly push so it didn't hurt so much. But they did, because they're quite amazing like that. So that was the only issues there with the cannula. So it's 9 days ago. So today I got stitches out. Um, I'm still on antibiotics. I'm still on pain medication I tried to go off the pain medication a couple of days ago to see if I could get back into work. No, that didn't happen. I went straight back onto it. So still in a bit of pain, as you would expect. It's a big surgery, right? Actually, what I didn't know, now I didn't have implants, right? So I just had a breast lift. Oh, did I even say? See, that's where my brain's not. Did I even say what I had? If you've not been around here before, this time I had a breast lift and a side lift, right? So in Perth, in Australia, in 2024, I had the arm. You can just see the scar from the upper arm lift or the arm lift. And I had what's called a side lift. So they come down. And so all the extra skin that was sort of under here, um, they've continued that line. Right. So I had the breast lift and the underarm lift, or it's called a side lift. Anyway, I didn't know that, and I didn't have implants. Wasn't interested in implants. I had big boobs for 30 something years, being overweight. I didn't care. The doctor, the surgeon came to me and said, "Oh, you want do you care if you have half size or like," and I'm like, half size? What do you mean half size? He goes like double D. I'm like, oh no, just straight sizes. But whatever you come up with, is whatever's left there. And what they do is they actually invert your own breast tissue and augment you. So I did have an implant, but it was my own breast tissue that kind of got folded in on itself and is what filled up my boobie. So fascinating. I didn't know that that's what they did. And then they took away the nipple and then repositioned the nipple. And yeah, it just feels like a normal breast. Very strange. So I didn't know that about that. So nothing went to waste. So although they still did have tissue left over, which this is another strange thing for Thailand, when you come out of surgery, they have all your spare tissue that they've cut away. And I remember, especially for my lower body lift in December, in a bag on the floor because do you want to see it? And they show it to you, and I'm not really quite sure why they show it to you. Maybe it's to prove they took it away, like as if you couldn't tell. I don't know. Um, but yeah, so this time they held up, the bag that had the left breast, and there was 100 grams left of tissue that hadn't been inverted, and the right breast was 120 grams, and then the left side was, I don't know, each of them was 100 and something grams. So not a lot when you think about it, but yet quite voluminous in the sizes. And I don't have a weak stomach with that sort of thing. But yeah, they're holding up all these bags of, and then once you've seen it and, all the things, they take it away. So I don't know what's with that. I don't understand, but that's okay. Um, so yeah, so today they took the stitches out and I had no problems there. Um, Although, actually, sorry, go back. Yeah, see, my brain's still definitely not working right. Um, the night after I had the surgery, the surgeon came back in, and I knew it was his day off on the Saturday. So I had the surgery on Friday night, and I knew it was his day off. So when he showed up late on Saturday night, I was like, "Oh, what are you doing here?" And he says, "Oh, I just need to undo some of your stitches." So obviously, the nurses, they take photos, when they do your dressing change and stuff. And he mustn't have liked the look of one nipple, and so he came back in and he cut some of the stitches around that nipple. And my understanding now is that it was turning purple or something. I don't know, but they were onto it pretty quickly. And yep, looking at it today without all the stitches on everywhere and out all the dressings and all clean, everything looks like it blows my mind what they can do. It really does. It's just like, wow, amazing. Anyway, so that was the other thing that happened. So again, like if you're ever worried about medical tourism and then they just wouldn't be as good in Australia, I'm willing to bet they're better, honestly. And I don't mean to can, Australian doctors or anything like that, but you wait because they're undernursed, they're understaffed, and yeah, you just here there just seems to be one for every person almost. I'm sure there's not, but that's what it feels like. Sometimes there's always somebody checking in on you and checking your dressings and having a look and how you're feeling. Are you okay? And yeah, it's nothing like what you would expect. All right, so where am I at? Back to my list. I've still got, I think, another 2 days of antibiotics left, so that's okay. And once they're finished, I will start on probiotics to get my gut health back. Um, and where am I? Last surgery, yeah. Okay, so last time I gave myself 4 weeks off, but this time Yeah, it's only been 9 days. This is my test to see if I can see how how switched on I am, and I'm gonna say not very, but that's okay. Oh, here's what I've noticed this time. I'm really bloated. Now, when you're an overweight person, particularly when you're morbidly obese, like I was, when people say they're bloated, I'm like, I used to go, what does that feel like? You know, because you're just always big, right? You just always feel yuck. So this has been the first time that yesterday I just sort of I looked at my husband and I sort of went on the side. I went, oh my God, look how bloated I am because I'm used to seeing the flat stomach now from the lower body lift. And it wasn't like pouched out or anything, but this under here was like quite out there. And I was just like, oh, I said, this is what it's like to be bloated. So this has been a real first for me to understand bloating. And I thought, yeah, you know what? When I had the last surgery, because I had the face done as well, I couldn't chew. So I lived off soup for, I'm going to say 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And I think that did my digestion the world of good. And yeah, so all this was playing out of my mind yesterday, actually. And so today, on the way back from the hospital in on the train, I said to my husband, I said, all right, we need to stop at Home Pro, which is like, I was going to say like Bunnings, but it's not really like Bunnings. It's like Bunnings joined together with Harvey Norman, Retrovision, those sorts of places. Anyway, because I need a stick blender. I need to make some soup. And so that's once I realized, oh, hang on a sec, I just lived off soup and I did really well. The last surgery, my digestion felt great. I felt awesome, you know, so nothing was amiss. And that's what I was like, yeah, I ate heaps of soup. That's all I lived off because that's all I could eat. I couldn't chew. And just another thing they don't tell you when you have facelift type stuff. Nobody tells you A, how painful it is, and B, that you can't eat for ages. So if you're thinking about that kind of thing, please be aware. And it's fine if you know, but you just don't know. No, it seems to be this hush hush society about that sort of thing. I don't know. And anyway, so I made myself today. So we got the stick blender, got a Philips one, which I can, you know, we can get that brand here. And then we went to Tops, which is a supermarket, our local supermarket, and I got some little chicken wings and some chicken stock. I got some Australian chicken stock, couldn't believe it. And some veggies, just some root veggies, some sweet potato and pumpkin and stuff, and made myself a chicken and vegetable soup, and it was the best thing ever. It was so good. I was like, "Yep, this is what my body needs. My body needs some soup for a little while to." And it makes sense, right? Because if your body's trying to heal and do all sorts of other things, if you're trying to get it to digest like it normally would digest, it's like it's just hard work. So I thought, oh yeah, yeah, I need to just go back to the simple soups just for a few weeks, just to let everything settle back down again. So the stick blender is going to get a bit of a workout. So I'd get a stock pot or a slow cooker, but I literally have no space in this condo. There's, you know, you've got to make choices. So a stick blender that could fit in. So that's what I got. And yeah, the chicken and veggie soup was amazing. All right, so where am I at? Medications wise, as I said, I'm on pain medication, still on quite hardcore pain medication at this point, which is why my brain's all over the place, which is fine. And I'm on the antibiotics, and I've got other pain medication for, you know, I've got sleeping medication, which I haven't really taken because the pain medication's enough to knock me out. The first few days home, I slept way more than I normally would, and I feel like I'm coming out of that now, like I don't need it as much, which is a good sign. And walking a little bit more. So I was going to catch the taxi to the train to the hospital today, but I felt okay, and we walked and got the train and did the usual thing that we would normally do, and it was raining, so that was kind of nice. So yeah, so I was like, oh no, I'm doing better than I think I am. I just still have to go gently, gently. I supplements wise, I went straight back to the vitamin D3 and K2 for the hair. Right, so straight back into it. Luckily, I didn't wait a couple of weeks like I did last time for it to all keep falling out, so that's okay. And this time, because I had to get some more, it came with, it was buy 2 bottles, and it was a sheet of zinc tablets. I was like, "Oh, zinc for healing. Yep, I could probably use," and it was just a sheet. I think it looks like a sheet of 20 or something. And that's often what I do with supplements. If I feel like I've done something like this where the extra healing, the wound healing, that sort of thing, the zinc is very, good for. I will take that sheet and see how I feel. And then afterwards, if I felt like it did me any good or if I need to keep going, I'll take another one. I don't, apart from the vitamin D, I tend not to take things, and the vitamin C first thing in the morning. I don't take things incessantly. Even after weight loss surgery, I take a bottle of it, go, how do I feel? And that way you give your body a chance to catch up. That's all. And that's what they are. They're supplements, right? They're not ongoing things, preferably, except, as I said, the D3 and the vitamin C. So I went straight back to the vitamin C drink every morning. So that's cool. And the hematologist put me on folate and B12 for the platelets. And I've got to go back this Thursday for the surgeon to do another checkup, and the hematologist to take more blood tests and to do another checkup on my platelets, to see how they're going. So I'm also on that supplement, which was given to me by the hematologist. So, and of course, I'm doing the coffee enemas to clear my liver of the anesthetics and the pain medications and all the things, and help it along with everything that is going on right now. I am on, as I said, I've got compressions on, which is just a little bra top, and it's a zip up. This one, the ones that they only have. I'm not sure if you can see. It's actually got another strap, because they're augmented for implants, and you're meant to strap it around here. But of course, because I didn't have implants, I said to the nurse today, I'm not sure what to do with these straps. And she says, oh, nothing. So they're strapped to the back. So that's fine. I've actually still got my compressions from Australia, the long sleeve ones from having my arms done. And I've been wearing those as well because they're really good for these underarm bit. Um, but I bought these sleeveless ones so that I could get it out and about, because it's too hot here to be going long sleeves and a shirt on top of that. I will pass out in the heat. So that's why I got the short sleeve one as well. So these compressions, 3 months. And I was thinking I might pair them with my Fanker compressions on the bottoms every day as well, and see if that makes any difference. Another challenge to give a shot to. And that will help me get back to exercise, getting back to doing all the things that I normally do. I'm showering in the bath for now, because when you have these sorts of surgeries, water is the enemy of scars. And I think that's why I mean, this will be genetics as well, that I scar so well, but meaning I don't scar, I leave no marks. Um, but water, that kind of thing. So I stand in the bath, and I give myself a hand wash, and I will do that for 3 months until there's absolutely no little, wounds or anything left in the scars, in any of the incision lines. That's when, once everything is completely sealed up, that's when I'll go back to normal showering, and I'll let water in. Um, and my surgeon in Australia told me that for my underarms, and I've stood by it, and everything else I've done the same thing for, and it's always, everything's healed really well. So yes, it's a pain in the ass to get in the shower and do that by hand for 3 months, but everything that I've done and everything that I will continue to do, it's not an easy ride, right? Having weight loss surgery, it's not an easy ride. Having any kind of lipedema surgery, not an easy ride. So you've got to be prepared. Somebody asked me recently about weight loss surgery, and I know this person's got a really rubbish diet, and I can say this because I know this person does not watch this channel. And I'm like, you gotta see if you can even do the pre-op diet before you can decide to, because a lot of people have this concept of weight loss surgery and, oh, they just, whipped off the stomach. And no, all of this is really hard work, and you've got to be committed, and you've got to do the mental work and the emotional work, because some days are really hard. And you just got to keep going, right? And I know everybody else that wishes they had, oh, a nice, really slim tummy now. I've got this flat tummy. And no, I haven't had a flat tummy. In fact, I'm not even sure I had a flat tummy when I was a teenager, to be honest. Um, wow, what a privilege, and how grateful I am that I've got it. But it was by no means an easy ride to get there. Everything that I've done, I've had to be, am I ready for that yet? Right? So the very next thing that I've got, and the only thing left for me to do to my body, is my legs. Now, that's a way bigger journey than any of these other things that I've done. And that one I'm really thinking hard about and deciding whether or not I want to do it. And if so, where do I do it? All that sort of thing, right? So there's so much involved with lipedema in the legs and skin removal, because there's a major lot of skin removal to go there as well. So I'm gonna say that's gonna be at least a year away before I contemplate the lipedema on the legs, which is fine. That gives me time to save money, because it was not in the original budget. um, but it's one of those things that I'm like, now that I've done the other things and I understand that I've got okay, I've got the strength, I've got the fortitude, I've got what it takes to do the things necessary for all of these, that maybe I can do the legs too, right? And I'd never considered having the legs, because I knew it was such a big surgery and I wasn't sure I could do it. Now I've done all these other things. I'm like, no, I can probably do it. But yeah, it's going to be time. It's going to be, checking out. There's other surgeons in Malaysia, here in Thailand. I'm checking out more thoroughly, because you really can't fly anywhere for 4 weeks for any kind of leg surgery. And, I'm in a better space here, um, in Thailand. So to go places like Turkey or Spain to some of the lipedema specialists that do this every single day, that's what they do every day of their lives. So, which would, make me more comfortable. But I also spoke with my surgeon, and when he was marking me up with my boobs and everything before the surgery, putting all the marks and everything, I said, while you're here, can you please talk to me about the legs and lipedema? And he knew enough about that. And he goes, oh, I would do your liposuction first. And they have got the appropriate, the lipedema one, whatever it's called, the water assisted one. He said I would do it first, and then 6 months later, come back after wearing compressions for 6 months. And then we'll look at the skin removal surgery, which I think is quite a conservative way of looking at it, which I quite liked. But it made me go, oh, you know what? I'm going to see who else is here that potentially, specializes in lipedema. There's a surgeon in Malaysia, so that's by land for me here. That also specializes, a lady. I saw her name in one of the lipedema pages, so I need to check her out. So, but I'm certainly not going to be checking into that for probably 6 months before I start getting my head around that. I want to be fully healed from all of this and know that that's all I've got left to do. And if I decide to go ahead with it, then that's going to take even way more prep work, because people don't think about the prep work before you go in as being, having the appropriate amount of protein in your body, having your collagen, having your skin, in good condition, being hydrated, all the things, right? So that's going to be, you know, down the track, but it's certainly something now that's come back in, which originally I hadn't even considered. So Yeah, because it's a bigger one, right? And you've got to be prepared to upkeep it. And if I'm going to pay the money for it, then I need to know that I'm not going to go backwards with it. And I need to know that the results are going to be what I want. So, which is what we all want with lipedema. So that's where I'm at. And I just wanted to share that with you. I have not had a hair wash in 10 days. So I was going to go get it done today at the hairdresser, but it was because it was raining. I was like, what's the point? It's just going to be frizzy. And since I discovered that a wash, a cut, and a blow wave was only 38 Australian dollars, I'm going to say that a wash and blow wave is, I don't know, $20, if that. So I will go find somewhere, or I will be hanging my head over the bathtub tomorrow because it's getting quite manky. So that'll always make me feel better, right? So that was it. So if you have any questions about this sort of thing and any of it interests you, I'm an open book. Please ask me. Please ask me if you're on the replay, send me an email, whatever you want to do, um, because I'm all for it if you want to better yourself in any way. Lipedema is a tough journey, and I've been through the biggest of big size to where I'm at now, and I'm taking up. Maybe you meant to say I'm breaking up. I'm not sure, but that's okay because I am saying goodbye very shortly. So, yeah, but any questions, I'm super happy to help you out and let you know what I know and my experience for anybody who is wanting to go down this road. So, yeah, let me know. And in the meantime, I will see you all next week. And I hope everybody is well and happy in the world. Bye.